Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over this Ruger AR-556. So this is my cousin's rifle. He's had this going on about 4 years. So we're going to let him take it away, tell us how he's liked it, and give us a lowdown on it.
Yeah, so I picked this up right when I turned 18, which was 4 years ago now. And it's done really well. Like, I've had no issues with it. I have an aftermarket handguard on it. I think it's from Stinger. Yeah, it's a Stinger handguard because it came with the handguard that didn't have, I forgot the,
Just
how you call it?
The normal front sight post.
Yeah, I had the front sight post. I had to,
handguard.
Yep, I had to get the gas block changed out for that stuff too. Also put this Strike Eagle on it. I've loved it. Eventually I picked up, well, to start, I have Magpul Stock that I changed out and I put that bad boy on there. Haven't changed out the grip on it, although I'd like to. And
yeah,
then,
I don't really like that grip. That grip is very slick.
it's not the best angle. You can't really get up under the trigger like I'd like to.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about getting like a B5 grip to put on it, or a BCM grip. Either one of those would work great for it. Then eventually I'll put the suppressor on it. Did that recently since forums are going quick. And yeah, overall I've really liked it. Like I said, I don't know of any issues I've had with it. I can't think of any like major issues I've had. There's been certain kinds of ammo that were a little finicky with it, but yeah, I've been using like just generic Winchester white box, the M193, some of the M855 too, and it's ran fantastic. I've had no issues.
Yeah, most of the times you've been shooting, it's been out here with me, and I can't remember any malfunctions, so it's been holding up pretty good, and it's got a nice paint job on it. Me and you, we did that several years ago, and it's holding up pretty well. So this is kind of your more, would you say, lower tier, like entry level AR?
Yeah, it's definitely entry level. You can find cheaper. Like if you're finding like a Delton or a PSA or something, which PSA, like I've said in previous videos, like outstanding for the money. Like PSA would probably operate just as fine as this thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely in that kind of that budget level.
Being entry level, you've had to, so when it came out of the box, we'll put up a picture on the screen of like what it looked like when you first got it. So you had to go and do a lot of modifications to get it like it is now, right? Yeah,
out of the box, I already knew I wanted to make some adjustments to it. So it wasn't something that was satisfactory out of the box, the specific model I got. Yeah, now, I think they have models now that are pretty good out of the box as far as the handguard goes, stuff like that. Yeah. But
yeah, and you know how they come out of the box, your just tubular handguard, your front sight post, like that's fine. But nowadays, everybody's going with, you know, a longer, slimmer rail. You have more real estate to put lights, lasers, whatnot. And then your low profile gas block that you added on here later. You know, front sight posts, some people love them, some people hate them, but I find that they kind of just get in the way in my viewing window of my optics, so I tend to not like them. But for the most part, you didn't have to do a whole lot to get this rifle really where you wanted it.
Right.
So, you know, just a few modifications. Not a terrible amount of extra cost, but still, this rail is a few $100s, so you know.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap, but it was also something I was willing to put the money into because it gave me the option to, you know, put the LPVO on there, because you could still see with the LPVO, you could still see like with using the front sight, like having the front sight on there. Yeah. But it just kind of got in the way of things. Yeah,
it took up a lot of the window. Like you couldn't see, you know. You didn't have the full window at your disposal to be able to observe through it. But,
right.
So a question for you, looking back, with all that you know now in the gun scene and what you like, what you don't like, would you still make this purchase, or would you rather go a different direction for your first AR?
I would have probably gone with something like a BCM.
Yeah, so it would come out of the box more set up like this without having to do any modifications or weighting or anything like that. Yeah.
The ideal way is just to build it, but you have to be 21 in order to buy the lower. Yeah. So that would have put an extra 3 years on me like building out the BCM I wanted. Yeah. But I mean, you can find them already built. They're just going to be a little more expensive than what you'd be able to get it if you're building it. But
yeah, so that's kind of the dilemma. You know, people they'll ask me, what should my first AR be? And you don't really know what all you want when you're first getting into guns. So, you know, you didn't know that you wanted a free float rail. You didn't know that you wanted a low pro gas block, different grip, different stock. So that's just stuff you learn along the way. and that's completely fine. So you'll probably keep this like it is set up, and then just go ahead and buy another BCM down the road and make that rifle that you want now after running this, learning from it, getting your experiences. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I did on a lot of my first guns. I did the same thing, except mine was a few years earlier than him. I got a Bushmaster, just, you know, standard tubular handguard front sight post, and now it's set up as a 16-inch DMR with a 4-16 scope, different rail, different stock, different grip, everything on it's different. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with learning as you go. So if you saw our video on this Otter Creek Labs Polonium, we're proud to announce that this thing is still running strong, and it's quickly becoming our favorite can. On a side note, who runs their sling like this? Like, this is the worst way to run a sling, in my opinion. If you guys run a sling like this, let me know down in the comments below why, because it's just bad. See, this is what I'm talking about. So after shooting it some more, these stock Ruger triggers are really, really heavy. So they're pretty smooth, but they're just heavy. If I could recommend the next upgrade for him for this rifle, it'd definitely be a good trigger. Whether that be the PSA Saber Claw, or maybe like a Geisley, or even a LaRue MBT trigger, anything is gonna be an upgrade from this trigger. It's burning my leg.
Overall, I've been really pleased with this. It has a few thousand rounds on it now, probably a little over 2,000. And it's served me well. Like I've said, I've really had no issues with it. Other than the couple of upgrades I made to it, like some different furniture, the aftermarket handguard here, then eventually suppressor and optic. It's done fantastic, and it is definitely one I would recommend if you wanted to kind of get one of those budget guns early on. It's one that I've had a ton of fun with, so yeah, definitely one I'd recommend.
That'll do it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you wouldn't mind, leave us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys in the next video.